Well, I did one on Facebook, but hey, let's see. Let's see if we get people on Periscope too. I'll do the same. Basically, same story. What did Nikki Haley do at the UN yesterday? What she did was, from an Islamic point of view, she told the entire Islamic world, we're going to stop paying jizya. What's jizya? Okay, under the system of by which Muslims rule non-Muslims when they've conquered territory, which is known as dimitude. That's the condition of the people who live this way. Dhimma is a treaty. It also means to be protected, but it means also guilty. It comes from the Arabic, comes from a root that means you're guilty. So you're guilty of falsifying the Bible. You as a non-Muslim living under a Muslim rule, you're guilty. And you have to pay jizya. What's jizya? Jizya is the tax you pay on your head to give you a right to life. Everything else is derivative. If you stay alive, if you pay your jizya. But, you know, they can cancel it at any time, this treaty. So every Muslim country in the UN, I can assure you, regards payments made to them as, which we call aid. They think it is jizya because they believe they rule over us. And that's what the vote was yesterday. I came in and I started listening to the Turkish ambassador. And the Turkish ambassador was absolutely outraged that America, the bully, Trump, the bully, could threaten to take away his aid money or their aid money or aid money from anybody who didn't. What were they voting on yesterday? America, a sovereign nation and a democracy. The people of America spoke 22 years ago or so. They spoke and said quite clearly, America will recognize Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. Jerusalem is the capital of Israel. Israel has always acted as Jerusalem. Even from 1948, when we didn't hold all of it, we still put our parliament there, the prime minister lives there, all of it, everything, since 1948, when in 67, when we got the other half back, the bit that Jordan had stolen, we continued to regard Jerusalem as our capital. Jerusalem is the capital. Israel regards Jerusalem as the capital, and now America and the American president specifically enunciated what the American people said to do. And the UN thinks it can tell America what to do. The UN thinks it has a greater power over the sovereignty of America. Yes, I'm Israeli. I live in Israel. I'm walking through a forest in Tel Aviv. That's what the UN. And so the Turkish ambassador gets up there and we had our meeting at the OIC, the Organization of the Islamic Conference. Why is that important? Because the OIC, which the Turkish ambassador proudly stated is the second largest intergovernmental organization in the world. They used to call themselves the second largest political organization in the world, but that's intergovernmental political saying. The biggest, obviously, is the UN itself. The third largest political organization is the EU, actually. But the OIC covers many more people and many more nations, so they have more voting power at the UN than anyone else. And that's why the UN General Assembly is will always be dominated by Israel hate, because they're Islamic, and hatred of Jews is baked into the Quran. And all votes will always go against Israel. The only question is by how much. I think it's 56 member states plus one at the OIC, not 53. But it's 56 plus one because the plus one obviously is Palestine, which they call a state, and obviously isn't. So what did Nikki Haley do when she stood up there and said, you know what? America, don't push buttons on your headset. America is sovereign. Israel is sovereign. Two sovereign nations can decide where their capital are. In fact, I even believe it's in the Charter of the UN or something that any country gets to decide where its capital is. Only Jews don't. And there we go. What she said was, there is no way we're going to continue just handing out the cash to people who hate us and who demonstrate their hatred of Israel or America on a regular basis. And that the Muslim countries, they regard those payments as jizya. They regard it as jizya. It has got an Islamic theological manifest reason to exist, and so they look at it that way. The Western world doesn't, but my sneaking suspicion is, based on everything Trump's doing and saying and has done and said, I think he understands all of this stuff. I think he has a very firm foundation in what Islam is, and the actions he's taken are not random, definitely not random. So recognizing Jerusalem just before Christmas, then, I mean, engineering this, you know, it's obvious that the UN is going to do some crazy stunt like this. This gets to the point where America, which this is what Trump wants to do, Trump wants to defund all major UN programs over which America does not have budgetary control. And that's what he's going to do. And he's going to switch. There'll probably be similar amounts of money going out, maybe a little less, but he'll switch from funding projects over which America does not have budgetary control and which are controlled by the OIC. He'll switch those to projects where America has direct budgetary control, and bang, defund jizya. Stop paying jizya to the Arab world. They've even regarded, you know, all the oil money as a kind of jizya. And I think it's genius, absolute genius. Trump is working magic behind the scenes, absolute bloody magic for the whole world, because this is not about Israel. Israel's a very important little touchstone and spark, but this is about reclaiming Western civilization back from Islam, which is conquering the West. It's certainly conquering Europe with both a people invasion and a cultural invasion. And this is Trump drawing a massive line and saying America is a sovereign country ruled by its people, not its leaders, ruled by its people. Nikki Haley was very, very clear about that. She was clear that the actions she were taking were in line with votes cast in the American systems of government, and bang, that is what she follows, the people. And the people of America, funnily enough, are stronger than the entire UN combined, because America is funding the UN, and she just fired that shot that's going to defund it. I'm wearing my t-shirt, "You will be destroyed," because under Trump, I suspect the UN will be destroyed in its current form, its current ridiculous OIC Islam-dominated form. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you all next time. I'm Brian of London. Obviously, I live in Tel Aviv. I'm walking through, I was just in Bereshit, which is the forest in the middle of Tel Aviv, really. And happy Christmas to you all who celebrate it. Shabbat Shalom to the Jews. And catch you next time. Bye.